if you want, we can kind of show what it looks like to actually run this project now that we wrote those rules.
Hmm.
We
Yeah, I
can
don't
just
want to
go ahead
miss
and,
that.
yeah, kind of the coolest part. So I've already got this project open here. So first thing is I'm going to go ahead and enter in, an order number. We'll just kind of make something up here. Um, we'll specify a conveyor length. You'll notice down at the bottom too, we've got kind of some dynamic things changing. In the bottom
Hmm.
left, this is a smart part number that's kind of updating based on our conveyor selections. So that's updating as well as our price. We'll save some of that stuff maybe for another discussion, but we'll go ahead and make a couple of changes here, make a couple of selections. I've got some options for including like our flat pattern DXF if we want it. Same thing with maybe a PDF output for all of our drawings. On our options tab, we'll go ahead and choose kind of a new color here, something crazy. Let's see what we got. Maybe steel. Well, we'll choose spring green, something obvious. We can choose independently whether we want a left or right side rail, or if we want a side rail on both sides. I think we'll go ahead and choose just one side. Got our little checkbox here for our elevated side rails that we'll go ahead and enable. And then we'll stick with our roller bed. We haven't talked about dynamic model replacement yet, but we'll maybe save that for another example and show you guys the belt bed. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit generate. And I don't have this project currently set up to automatically start generating. So there's kind of one last step I've got to do. Just go up here to this generate models button and it'll show me any specifications that are currently pending generation.
Okay,
So there's
so
our
that's the
order
one that we
number.
just did. I got
Yep.
you.
And then we'll hit generate. And what it's going to do is it's going to go ahead and, create copies of all the models that have not been previously generated. And then it's going to open each one of those up and just start running through and changing all the parameters. So we see some sizes change, we see the color change. We'll see, features maybe disappear. And then once it's done with, all the models, we'll see it start to jump into drawings as well.
That's amazing. Yeah, this is the payoff for sure. Yeah, you could definitely. I'm glad we're showing the nuts and bolts of this because this would be marketed as AI in a heartbeat.
Yeah. Yeah. If you didn't know how it was set up, you'd think it's just, magic and certainly leveraging maybe some tools that are difficult to understand, but it's really not. Kind of the way
Yeah.
that DriveWorks has posed this is they've taken care of all the difficult stuff, which is understanding the SOLIDWORKS API and how to access it and drive it. And it's really down to you to just kind of plug in, your engineering data and make it work.
Hey, now on some of these, I see there's parts that are being reused because they're unchanged,
Mhm.
and then there's copies of parts being made. Would you have an option to say if you just change length and color to just use a configuration of that part instead of making a copy of the part?
You can. So within some of the rules that you write, if you've got a file that has multiple configurations, you can tell it which configuration to use. And that's something we actually do with these side rails. The side rail assembly itself has two configurations for tall and short. So whenever we're picking between those two options, we're actually just writing a rule that calls out which configuration is going
Ah,
to be
cool.
used in the file that we're reusing.
Nice.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is also another huge thing right here is reporting. I'm sure as somebody who's done their own programming, trying to troubleshoot is incredibly difficult. If you're doing your own, programming in, Python or C Sharp. Here you actually get full reports at several different levels throughout the project. This is called the model generation report. So we can actually see what's happened with each model. Gives us a nice little entry count for things that were successful, maybe had a warning or had an error. So as you're kind of doing your development, you can kind of look through this, and sure enough, there is one that does have an error. So if we were trying to figure out what happened here, we could double click on that, and it gives us kind of a full breakdown of
Ah.
all the steps that were taken. And I knew this one would pop up just because I haven't completed this yet, but I was trying to rescale and position a drawing view that doesn't currently exist. So it's trying to rescale and position something called drawing view 2. We went and looked at that drawing. There's just not a view called drawing view 2. So in this case, that's expected, but it's nice to kind of get a full breakdown each time you run this of what took place and maybe what needs to be investigated.
Yeah, it looks like it did the rest of it. You're just gonna be missing like one view that you expected
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
made the
The
drawing.
view, yeah, all the views that should have been placed were. I've just got kind of a special task I applied as an example. I guess for kind of another project I'm working on.
Yeah,
So
yeah, cool.
all of this is expected, nothing to fix. But nonetheless, nice to have some reassurance that it wasn't anything important.
Yeah. Yeah, and we get right to it. That's cool, man.
Yeah, yeah, pretty cool. So ultimately, it output everything we needed and placed it in the right spots. But if we wanted to go look at what that final assembly looked at, we could just go ahead and pop it
Oh
open
yeah, it's
here.
in your recent docs, of course.
Yep, looks
Dang,
good.
that's so nice. Yeah,
Everything's in the right spot.
that is pretty amazing.
Ready, ready to go.
Yeah.